Here's a game. D4. Yeah, let's just try D5. See what we get. He's going to play a queen's pawn, a traditional queen's pawn opening. And he plays a move that prevents the 1 hour gambit. So let's see what we get. Maybe a Meran variation. Yes, looks like a very solid way to play. In fact, that's how I play as white. So yeah, we're heading for the Meran variation. It's a pretty interesting line, has possibilities for both white and black to get some interesting play here. The way I play it, you can play with either A6 or with bishop B7 right there. But I'm going for a quick C5. I think I can play C5 right here. Sometimes they'll push E4 even before castling, just to have the move E5 or D5 ready in response to this C5 push. When they castle first, you can play C5, and you know that there's no immediate counter threat. I think this usually leads to an exchange and opening up. Yeah, so we can play E4 now. I can get this in with tempo. It's risky because it's opening up things before you've castled, so it's not entirely safe to play that way. But it's actually, I think, the most accurate way for black to play. So now I want to develop my dark squared bishop and castle if there's nothing going on here. Notice he can't push that e-pawn forward and harass this knight, at least not right away, because this knight got pulled away from f3, so it's no longer protecting e5 here. So if he pushes e5, I can take it. I could even play bishop to d6 because it's not a fork. And there's quite a few pieces. I mean, the bishop on d6 is loose, but there's a bishop and the knight in the way. And he needs to push that pawn to clear the bishop or make a couple of moves. Bishop back, knight back. So I think this is interesting. I mean, there's also bishop to c4 as well. And maybe bishop c5, bishop c5, maybe that makes more sense. It's hitting the loose piece. I kind of want to get the bishop out with tempo. The bishop on d6, I was thinking dropping it back to c7 and queen d6 to line up in this battery would be an idea, but probably he won't let me get away with that, and the knight's in the way. Okay, the bishop is defended by the knight, so it's not loose there. He's defended his knight, so I think it's safe for me to castle. And we'll see what white's plan is here. But this should be pretty comfortable for black, right? I should be able to develop my bishop to b7, get all my pieces off the back rank, get developed. Seems like I've come out of the opening okay. Aha. I always overlook little things like that. But is that so good? Let's see. He has knight to e7 check, maybe. My bishop is not hanging. But if I played queen to b6, and he went with the check, I can't take it with the bishop because it's pinned. So I can't really play queen b6 there. If I place my queen here, though, that attacks the knight, and it will defend e7 after he exchanges off the bishop. And if he plays knight e7 now, it just loses because I can take it immediately. And I am threatening the knight. That queen b6, knight e7 check was kind of a cute trick, though. Although I could just move my king then, and nothing happens. Well, he could grab the bishop or trade this bishop, but not win any material. What country is that? France, the tricolor? Yeah, France. Nouveau Rouge. Okay, I guess I want to take the bishop. I could take the knight as well. But, well, taking the bishop puts my knight on an active square looking at his bishop, and he still has to move the knight. The knight's got to find a home. You know, if the knight goes back to d5, I have rook to d8. Maybe winning material. So he needs to play knight back to b5. I have rook d8 anyway. I mean, it looks like kind of an uncomfortable pin there, doesn't it? Let's see, where can the knight come in? The knight can come back into these light squares. It's hitting here. That's defended. E5 is still not playable. I can just take it. I mean, I could just develop with bishop to b7, but it seems like I should take advantage of this pin while I get the chance. Maybe I can, you know, get rid of that light squared bishop and play with a bishop versus a knight. Get a little imbalance in the position. Not that that's a big advantage one way or the other. Let's see here. Any of these knights trappable? Maybe I could kick the knight and then take the bishop. Maybe that would actually win material. It's not trappable. It can go back to c2. That's like a5, knight c2, b5. Kicking this knight. Where does that knight go? Come in here to the light squares. Okay, that doesn't help. But just a5. There's a threat of playing a5 and taking the bishop. I guess he needs to find an answer to that. Okay, so he unpins. But is that good enough? Let's see, if I play a5, he can take a pawn. If he moves the knight, I can take the bishop, right? Oh, he takes there with the hit on my queen. I didn't see that. So, two pieces are hanging, though. The knight's hanging, and the bishop is hanging. But I have to move my queen first. But after I move my queen, as long as I move it to somewhere where he can't harass me further, I should be okay. So, queen b6 now. Isn't that going to win a piece here? The knight is defended, doesn't have to move, but, well, the bishop is hanging and the other knight is hanging. And this knight can attack my queen from this square, but that loses a piece. Well, it was a good try, though. He got a pawn with tempo. Maybe he'll pick up another pawn, too. Maybe not. I think it's still just going to be a piece for a pawn. Okay, what's he doing? Are there other possibilities? Counterattacks, like bringing a rook out. Bring a rook to defend the bishop is an idea. Let me take the knight and then maybe exploit some weakness on my back rank. But the rook is defended by the queen. I was wondering, if there's some, like if you manage to get a rook to d1 and move this bishop with tempo, this rook is not defended by the other rook because my bishop is still on the back rank. But I don't see any tricks that work. d1, I'll just take the knight, and then I will develop my bishop in the next move. Okay, well, he's down to a minute. He's going to have to move soon, or else resign. But maybe he's desperately searching for something. Anything clever? He can push e5 now. Yeah, and that's pretty clever, because let's see, if I go here, then his bishop is not hanging, and this knight can escape by taking my knight. So I can't go there, can't go there, can't go here. I actually have to go, let's see, if I go to If I go to e7, then he can save the knight, and his bishop is not hanging because my knight is blocking the rook. So the only way to maintain that state of two pieces hanging is to play knight to e8. So he is getting something out of this. But I still think I'm going to get a piece at the end. Let's see if he finds another clever move here. This knight still can't really escape with a tempo. If he comes here to attack my rook, I play rook takes bishop. Yeah, almost anywhere he goes, I'm just taking the bishop. If he comes here or here, oh, I also could just take the knight. Check. Okay, so he's giving up the bishop with tempo. Yeah, so that he does get two pawns. He got a pawn here and a pawn there, so I'm going to take that. I don't think it's too dangerous. His queen can come over here with check, of course, but he doesn't have other pieces to support the attack of the queen on this side of the board, so I don't think it's a big deal. Queen h5 check, king g8 defending f7, and then he's piling up on f7, hitting my queen. So I have to defend. Now I can defend with queen to c7. Where's his knight going then? Yeah, his knight is not harassing me. Oh, I have a simpler solution, don't I? Of taking the knight. Isn't that simpler? And then taking this knight. So didn't he lose a piece here? Yeah, so he went two pieces down with that knight move. That was not such a great move. Okay, let's see. Can't relax just yet. The knight is hanging. The queen and the rook are coordinating. So let's bring the knight in. I'm going to play knight to f6, hitting the queen. Maybe bishop b7 first. Finally complete my development. And yeah, he's going to bring his pieces out. He can get rook to he can get rook to c7. Can't really stop rook c7 actually. Need to get the bishop off the back rank, but I was thinking I have queen to e4 here, setting up a battery. Okay, so he finally gave up. Well, he let me win on time. Thinking about it. It was an interesting game. I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.